No matter how deep you go, there's always more to unravel. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast number 283. This is the one about the most important stages in Jeet Kune. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune broadcast. So, as you may have heard me say before, the terms late stage or latter stage Jeet Kune are being bandied about nowadays, referring to what Bruce Lee was supposedly teaching in the years before his death. So this got me interested in taking another look at what I consider a most important concept of Jeet Kune, which is the stages of cultivation, or some people have seen it as stages of a technique, because there are various depictions of it in Bruce Lee's notes. So in doing research for today's issue, I came across an article entitled The Three Stages of Learning in Sport. And what it showed was the three stages. It's based on a 1967 study, right? So, that got me to thinking. I wonder if Bruce Lee went through any of this. So the three stages of learning are cognitive, associative, and autonomous stages, right? So like I said, 1967 study. So I wondered about that. And I went through, let me see if I can pull it up here for you. Give me a second. I have it here somewhere. Hold on. Right. Let me see if I could, if I got to show you something. Give it a second to upload. But as soon as I saw that 1967, I go, man, I wonder if this guy saw this particular study, right? Cognitive, associative, and autonomous stages of learning. So in the cognitive stage, this is when the person is setting out to learn a new skill or a new technique. And some people call this the thinking stage. So an example of this could be, because remember, this is from an article about stages of learning in sport, but I thought it was entirely applicable to what we're doing. So it could be an athlete learning how to perform, let's say like how to do a serve in tennis or something, right? So this is the thinking stage. And this is when athletes have to have feedback from their coaches in order to understand what they're doing wrong. And then they'll need like visual images and visual demonstrations and what have you to move forward, right? So, okay, let me show you this. So this is what I did, right? Take a look at this. So this is a document of mine, right? And so I went through all of the books in Bruce Lee's library. Well, this is my list, right? So I went through all the books in Bruce Lee's library to see if I could come up with something that indicated that he had seen this particular 1967 study. But alas, I didn't find any evidence of that. So maybe somebody like Joseph Powell or James Bishop would have more information on that, right? So stage one was cognitive. Stage two, associative, this is the phase. This is known as the practice phase, and this is when athletes begin to learn what errors they're making, and this is when you'll notice also that you're starting to make progress, right? But you still need demonstrations from your coaches. I hate using the word coach in a martial art context because I don't. I'm just repeating what the notes that they made because they're talking about sport. And I hate that the word coach has come to replace instructor in a martial arts setting, but I digress. So the associative stage of learning is also the longest stage before you start to master skill. Autonomous stage, the final stage, is when a skill has been, they say, overlearned and is, excuse me, and is now automatically recalled when needed. So that now athletes can go on to concentrate on other tasks. So the athlete who was learning how to serve can now learn how to apply spin to the serve, right? I don't know. I played tennis 30 years ago, right? So now, if you're thinking, well, this sounds kind of familiar, of course it does, because it's very much like our JKD stages of development, which you can read about where? Where do you think? Pages 57 and 58 of this thing, the wrong screen, Dwight. The Art and Philosophy of Bruce Lee book, right? Pages 56 and 56. I'm sorry, 57 and 58, right? So that's where they talk about the primitive stage is when you know nothing or little about combat, but at least you're instinctive in defending yourself. The second stage, the stage of sophistication, is when you start training or learning. Now there's a ton of information about different things that's being thrown at you. So even though you gain scientific knowledge of combat, you can lose your automaticity because your mind can freeze now in order to calculate and analyze stuff and what have you. The third stage, the stage of artlessness, is when after years of serious and hard practice, which as we all know is the meaning of the words gung fu, you realize that there's nothing to do or nothing to try to do, but to be purposeless and formless, right? Getting rid of classical techniques and standardized styles. So as an aside, if you have not read this book in a while, or if you've never read it before, might I suggest that you do so. It's really good. So as important as these stages might be, no discussion of JKD can approach completion without mentioning the connected concept, again, variously known as stages of a technique or stages of synchronization. So you will recall that these are variously known, right? Synchronization with self, synchronization with opponent, and then application under fighting conditions. So in stage one, you're concerned with the acquisition of correct form, precision, and synchronization of the whole, to quote Bruce Lee. Now, that thing about synchronization of the whole, right? Let me digress for a second here, because in this same article, there was this thing about the methods of practice, right? Which cover whole practice, progressive part practice, right? And then the whole practice, part practice, whatever. So I thought that was interesting that Bruce Lee used similar language. So again, I was intrigued as to whether or not he might have made note of that in some shape or form. Anyhow, all right. So in stage one, synchronization with selves. Stage two, synchronization with opponent. So this is where a ton of your training is done with a partner who provides different levels of cooperation and resistance. And that's why I call it, instead of calling it synchronization with opponent, I actually call it synchronization with training partner because of that fact. And then stage three, application under fighting conditions. If you look again, let me put that one back up for you. Is it there? Where is it? If you look at the number of attributes that Bruce Lee shows in this particular one, let me see if I can get the bigger image of it for you. No, doesn't work. Anyhow, right? The number of attributes that he lists in this stage three, it's kind of understandable why he emphasized this stage, application under fighting conditions, why he emphasized that over just about any other stage of development. When I first came to, do I have it here? I left it over by the other table, right? When I first came to JKD, I was aware before 83 that there were no belts or what have you. But it wasn't until I became active with Sifu and Asano that I actually heard about phase training. And then it was in 1988 through Sifu Richard Bustillo that I first saw a breakdown of what type of things went into phase training. So that's what actually, I'm going to finish this up, but this phase training thing intrigued me. So what I want to hear from you guys in the comments right now is whether these stages of whatever you call them, stages of development, stages of synchronization, stages of a technique, stages of cultivation, whatever you call it, what role did that play in setting up your JKD training? Did you incorporate it into your curriculum? If so, how did you do it? And what about phase training? Do you have a breakdown of what phase training is about? If you use a ranking system, a belt ranking system or whatever ranking system, how are the stages of development incorporated into your ranking system? So go ahead and give me kind of like cursory comments about that right now. But then what I invite you to do, but you got to be patient. On Friday, August 11th, we'll have an open panel discussion about this. Stages of development, cultivation, technique, whatever, and how they featured into your Jeet Kune Do training. But for now, just go ahead and give me like morsels of information about what it did. And then on Friday the 11th, we'll have a big discussion about that. But I'm really, really interested in hearing about this. Okay, so let me know in the comments below. That's all I got to say about this video. If you like what you heard, comment, rate, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods, at paypal.me/UnifiedMA Miami. The Jeet Kune Do Journey Volume 1 is available. PayPal.me/UnifiedMA PayPal.me/UnifiedMA Miami. Over on the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues YouTube channel, you can join there as a method of supporting me and what I do. YouTube.com/the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues, I'm pretty sure, right? And then, of course, the other way you can support the show is to go to jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you'll see stuff like this. The Keep Calm and Learn to Fight Ferociously. I've asked this before. If anybody knows where I took that from, not the Keep Calm and whatever part, because everybody knows that's something from England, but the Learn to Fight Ferociously part, I just gave you a clue, right? If anybody knows where I got that from, feel free to tell me that in the comments as well. This is also available as a coffee mug or something as well, right? But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video, tell everybody about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Coming up on Friday, August 4th, is Jeet Kune Do Dialogues with two of Maryland's JKD finest, Steve Braun and Bob Burgee. So it'll be the two of them. I met up with Steve at the Asano Academy a couple of months ago, and that's when we laid the groundwork for him coming onto the program. And then he graciously said, hey, why don't we bring Bob on also? And Bob graciously accepted. So it'll be the two of them, two Maryland JKD people with me, Friday at 6 p.m. Today's a purple shirt, purple day, right? There we go. So I'll see you Friday at 6 p.m. for the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues. If not, see you next week for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Until then, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. You guys have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Talk soon.